if you were the captain of improving education and I gave you a certain amount of power, not infinite power, because I don't trust you that much, but no, what can you see a solution? What would you say?
Well, I mean, it's like a lot of things, Jeff. Complex problems cannot be solved with simple solutions. So I know the standard answer is, well, we got to raise teacher pay. I mean, if you raise teacher pay, you're going to get better people teaching because they're more attracted to the salary. That's not, as you know, I'm preaching to the choir here with a man that's surrounded by educators. They didn't go into it for the money. That's, they were built to teach, and that's what they want to do. I think the key would be to get better leaders at the helm of every school and every school district. And I think we have very good leaders out there, but they also are becoming more difficult to find because the job is more difficult for them too. I mean, like they're dealing with parents and they're dealing with societal issues, they're managing technology, how to keep phones in or out, AI, how do you manage that? There's just a lot of pressure on administrators. But I have found that, and I'd be interested to have you ask your daughters later on, if you have a good boss, the job is a little bit more tolerable. Like it's not easy, it's always going to be difficult. But if you know there's a man or a woman down the hall that's got my back, I can manage this. I can do it as long as I know I've got backup. But if I don't have backup, then the system is broken. Then a teacher would say, I don't know what the answer is because I don't have any support. And I think they want support. They also want more money. That would be human nature. We all want to get paid more. But I think it's more about providing the kind of support and respect that teachers need and deserve would go a long way. And I don't know if I can wave a magic wand to get that, but that's to me what would make a big difference.
Well, I'll say, I think that what you said about having a good boss works for every occupation I ever saw.
Absolutely.
I mean, 70% of your job is if you got a good boss. I mean, you can be making cardboard boxes in a room somewhere.
Right.
And if you got a good boss, it's kind of fun. In fact, I think one of the top employers in the nation actually makes cardboard boxes. So somehow they've made a job that, I don't mean to disparage it, but you're just making a cardboard box. I shouldn't say you're making a cardboard box, but they see it in a way, and they got a culture. I don't know how they got this, and they got bosses. I don't know how they get this, but they love their job really because of the boss. I'll just say one thing about education that is unlike any occupation I've ever been in. Now, I never taught. Okay, not true. I taught swim lessons for a summer when I was a kid throughout the years. And this is what you know about regular work. It's possible to go into work and the day flies by. If you have a regular job, that 8 hours can fly by. It depends on the day. But when you teach, you can't fly through the day because every 45 minutes or hour, you are forced to stop. Now, 45 minutes can fly by, but that whole day is stopped and started, many times during the day. And as you said, if in one of those 45, 50-minute segments, you're working with anything society puts in your room, that's not an endurance. That is a sprint. That's a sprint.
Right.
And then the bell goes off and maybe you got some prep time to kind of stretch out and get the next one. But if you have a really good class that's fun, you could. Are you going to have that every single hour, every single day? No. And so you see why, I see why that summer to refresh is essential. And I would also say an opportunity, because many of the greatest entrepreneurs I've met started out in teaching, right? Mm-hmm. So they had those 3 months in the summer to say, well, I want to try something different. And then they transitioned, and the skills they learned at the classroom about teaching, invaluable to building a business.